while I'm still not a fan of this 2 episodes a month thing, I am quite excited to find out whether you did in fact make it to 60 or not.
Well, clearly I'm here and you can see me on the Zoom.
Whoa,
So, yeah.
spoiler alert. Jesus. Oh, thanks for taking the surprise away.
Oh, I thought I'd put people out of their misery.
And yet you came back anyway.
You know, CJ, sometimes I look at myself and think, who's that old fart?
Yeah, sometimes I think that when I look at you too.
But I feel the same as I did in my 40s. What happened?
Yeah, and your memory's going as well.
Why don't we feel our age?
Actually, I reckon there's a podcast in that. We could ask why society considers people who are over 50 as old.
That's a great idea.
No, I was just kidding.
But think about it. Every episode we can research a different topic related to ageing.
That sounds like quite a lot of effort.
And the other joys of ageing, like mailing a stool sample, working with millennials, and even mystery muscle pain.
Actually, yeah. Why does my shoulder hurt? Hey, we could talk about those unhelpful stereotypes like over 50s are forgetful and bad with technology. What's this button do again? Oh, yeah.
Welcome to What's My Age Again?
Well, this is me.
And this is me.
And welcome to What's My Age Again. That's your line, CJ. Why am I saying it?
I don't know. You're the one who had the brilliant idea to do 2 episodes a month.
Well, the way the internet's going here, we might not get there, but let's see how we go.
It says, I've got a message on my end that says the quality will improve when the internet gets better. So I think we might be waiting for a very long time for the internet to get better.
The quality of what we're saying or the quality of the recording? I'm not quite sure. Anyway, so I figured, CJ, we wouldn't normally go to a listener mail so early, but I think because of the circumstances, it's really best to get this elephant out of the room right away.
I've told you about bringing an elephant into the room again.
When you see what I'm drinking, you'll think that's funny. Now I had some email, and it says, "Hi CJ and Scott, if you're still there. Is Scott okay? I was worried after the last episode. It seemed a little grim. Is he still in hiding, or is he resigned to his fate?" And was signed, a concerned listener. Okay, so thank you, concerned listener.
The question is, Scott okay is broader than the previous episode.
Yeah, has Scott ever been okay? Is probably the...
Yeah. Short answer is no.
But yeah, Scott is back to normal, whatever normal is. So yes, back on deck, back recording. This isn't What's My Age Again with CJ.
It's not What's My Age Again with CJ and AI.
Are you sure?
Yeah, although I also won't point out that Scott forgot who starts, and we've only been doing it for how many months now?
Well, maybe I'm not so well after all, but I seem okay. I seem okay to me.
Right.
So there you go.
Thank you, because what was it? Concerned citizen?
Concerned listener.
Right. Okay. Thank you,
concerned citizen. Sounds like something Batman would say.
All right. Good. Let's get that out of the way. That'll be $50. Please see my receptionist on the way out.
Only $50. That's very cheap.
Yeah. No. Yeah. You get what you pay for.
Well, I wonder where the value is then.
What's happening this week, AI? I mean, Scott?
Well, it's like this. In a minute, we're going to talk about what we're drinking. That seems to be a tradition now. And I'm also going to talk about the New South Wales Seniors card, because I did mention that in the last podcast. That was one of the things I was railing against, the fact that I was going to be a senior and getting a seniors card. And I've got some mail from them, which I'd like to share with everybody. That's one thing. I also found some rather depressing and slightly funny old person memes, which we might go through a few of.
What?
What about you're not helping?
What about I'm not helping this week? Of course I'm helping. Oh, right, the segment thing. Yeah, so for you're not helping, I have consulted the oracle of the internet, the all-knowing, all-seeing WikiHow, to take you through some tips and some steps on how to turn 60 gracefully.
Okay, which is very appropriate, obviously.
Yes.
Okay, and what we're drinking this week, I'm going to start off first, seeing I started the whole podcast wrong.
Scott's on his second bottle of.
It's a Shiraz called Elephant in the Room. Now, it doesn't tell you what kind of flavours it has, because this must be a bit of a cheapo one.
Elephant flavour.
No bullshit. It basically says, this Shiraz embraces everything that was great about gargantuan wines before the style police took control. A monster of a mouthfeel. It's big on flavour and attitude. Fashion nil, flavour 10.
Are you reading a Pornhub description again?
That's no.
Right.
So, what are you drinking, CJ?
I am drinking water.
What the fuck? I nearly spat my Shiraz all over the keyboard.
It was worth it just for that. It's a shame that we're not recording video. I'm drinking water that has been mixed with malt and yeast and then fermented in tanks for a period of time, and is now fulfilling the remainder of its life as a red IPA. From a brewery in Mornington Peninsula, which is in Victoria, run by some very nice people, called the Sound Red IPA. It's a full-bodied caramel-coloured brew offering hoppy, spicy, and intensely fruity flavours with a dry finish and named to represent their escape brewing home.
Does it taste nice?
Well, I don't know. It's called the Sound. So if you put the can up to your ear and open it, you can hear the sound of the ambulance. No, it's good. It's actually it won an award. It came. I want to say it came second in the. I'll call them the IPA Wars. I'm pretty confident that's not what they're officially called.
The IPA Olympics.
I want to say it came second, but they'd entered it incorrectly or something. Like everybody else had entered a fresh keg, and because it was their first time and they were like they'd only just recently started their brew, they didn't realize that you entered a fresh keg, so they just sent cans and still came second.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it's really nice. It's a very, very nice, full-bodied and tasty red IPA.
I might get started on my little seniors card. I don't know if it's a rant. I'm not sure what it is.
Well, you're over 60 now. It's a rant.
It's a rant. By definition, it's a rant. Fair enough. Okay, well, as I said, I enrolled for the seniors card in New South Wales, and I may have mentioned last time that I had to get the lower level card because you can get a card that gives you lots of cheap rail fares and all sorts of things, and because I work more than 20 hours a week, I don't qualify for that.
I thought you were a teacher.
But I'm tish. All I qualify for is the senior savers card, and that pretty much means not very much.
Right.
But because I was talking to a friend of mine whose mother has the seniors card now, and she said that she had the full seniors card. They went, oh, well, does she not work 20 hours a week? She said, oh, yeah, she does. She just lied. That's what everyone does. So it seems like I made a tactical error by telling the truth to the New South Wales government.
Yeah, but she's just doing cash in hand jobs.
I don't think she's doing hand jobs. Considering what I'm about to say next, could be rather leading.
I wouldn't want to be taking the cash then. Let go of the money. I can't. It's stuck to my hand.
Okay, so the page I'm looking at here is what's on offer.
Right. Unfortunate segue, yeah.
You may be surprised at the range of...
Let's see if we are.
Sorry. Let's try it again. You may be surprised at the range of businesses that have joined with the Seniors Card program to bring you great deals. And it says you can get discounts on accommodation, automotive, entertainment and attractions, food and beverage, health and well-being, home building and improvements, and professional or personal services. The mind boggles, really.
But apparently, if there's one of those neon open signs hanging out the front and it's after 8 o'clock, then it's one of those professional services.
And the other thing is, of course, it says to make the most of your membership, keep an eye out for the Seniors Card Welcome Here sign and don't be shy. Even if you don't see a sign, they may offer a Seniors Card discount. So if you go to one of those places with the neon signs and say, do you have a Seniors discount? That's what they'll say. So flicking through this little brochure, there's a page that says useful contacts listing.
Mm-hmm.
And if you ever needed an illustration of the joys of being over 60, then this useful contacts listing is the thing that really puts it into perspective.
Right.
It has the phone number for the emergency, ambulance, police, and fire.
Isn't that just 000?
It is 000, but if you're old, so you can't remember what that is, so you have to have it written down. Where's that bit of paper that says what 000 is?
You spend all your time going 111. Fuck. 222. Fuck.
There's the line for Health Direct Australia. There's the phone number for My Aged Care and the website. And there's the New South Wales Emergency Services for telephone number. So far, they're expecting you to have massive disasters, basically.
Well, I'm only up to 777.
Yeah. And of course, if you're having an existential crisis, you can ring Lifeline. Or if someone's trying to rip you off, you can ring Scamwatch. These are all very, very positive things, honestly.
Things to look forward to.
Yeah. And the Aging and Disability Abuse Helpline.
I'm pretty sure that the people who are doing that don't need help. They've got it nailed.
And that's, other than that, there aren't many really useful contacts there. There's no sort of useful contacts that are making me happy. There's no, sort of Dan Murphy's or, line or anything like that.
Well, the last thing you want to be doing is drinking a urine.
I thought you say the last thing you want to be doing is drinking urine.
Well, that's good advice anytime, especially if it's not your own.
Oh, sorry. The visual then, after what you just said, lifting an amber fluid to your lips and drinking. I also remember talking in last episode about the parking permit.
Yes.
And I applied for the local parking permit, and I was rejected.
Denied.
Because even though I qualify for a seniors card, I have to age 7 more years before I can get a seniors parking card.
Fucking hell.
So that was totally useless.
So essentially, the seniors card is just another piece of plastic that you can carry around in your wallet.
And embarrass yourself by asking, do you have a seniors discount? And they'll go, no, fuck off. You old bastard. And the very last page of the seniors card brochure, contact information. It just has websites and all that kind of stuff, of course. But then it also has a particular number you can dial if you are deaf, hard of hearing, or have a speech impairment. So they're really covering all the bases for these old people.
I think that's technically on every government brochure.
Technically,
yes. I see your I see your point.
So
hang on. So sorry, 1 sec. 999. No, fuck.
One more. Just try the next one.
1, 2, 3. Damn it.
So anyway, that's my seniors card story.
Segue, because apparently there's nothing. The seniors card shit. There's nowhere to go with that aside from that. But as a potential segue for listeners overseas, the emergency number in Australia is 000, not like in American 911 or whatever it is in other countries. So here it's 000, which in the age of digital phones is kind of what does it matter? It was 000 back when we had rotary phone. If you're listening to this, you've probably used a rotary phone, and you're probably aware that the 0 is the one all the way down the end. So it's and the only reason I can think that they picked 000 is because they did some study maybe where it said on average people who call emergency have got about 30 seconds to make the difference between life and death. And somebody said, if we make it 000, that's going to save us a lot of money on medical costs for people. So in Australia, it's 000 as opposed to the US, it's 911. But why would I be talking about the US?
Well, that's a very good question, CJ. Perhaps it's because they are our number 2 download country. I don't know. How do you call it? What do you say? You're a bucket if I know. And
yet you're complaining that you've qualified for a seniors card.
I'm complaining I don't get a full one now.
That's because you're not going to the ones with the neon sign at the
Yes. So the United States number 2. Who do you think number 3 is, CJ?
Well, I'm assuming that Australia is number 1, I would hope.
Yes, Australia's number 1 by a long way.
Aussie. So US is number 2. UK?
No, surprisingly, I would have thought UK. UK is number 4, and number 4 by a fair way behind Canada.
Yeah.
Probably thanks to Sheila, I imagine.
Right. I like Canada. There was a quick off-topic thing. When I was in Canada a few years ago, I was at a bar. I know that's going to come as a shock. That's probably the
knock me down with a feather.
Yeah, that's probably the part of the story that I don't need to mention because that's just taken as a given. So I was at a bar in Toronto, and there was probably only about, I don't know, half a dozen people there, and I was sitting at the bar with someone else, and the bartender pulled out a bottle of beer and just started filling up like shot glasses with it for everybody in the bar.
Mm.
And we're like, oh, what's this? And he's like, oh, I just found it in the, I found it, it's a really good stout. I found it in the kind of back of the fridge. So I thought I'd just pop it open and share it with everyone. Alrighty. I like Canada even more. And then he topped it off with, we all picked our glasses up and he went, cheers, eh?
Oh, fair enough. Yeah. Thank you, Canada. So number 4 to the UK, and I think, and after the cricket scandal recently, maybe our UK listers will drop off even further.
Right, I'm not old enough to watch the cricket, so.
Oh, okay. Well, apparently they think we're all cheats, and we think they're whingers. So it's business as usual.
The cheating in cricket, he says, referring back to the underarm controversy of 1974 or something,
or the ball tampering controversy. Well, this one's actually was totally within the rules, so it's even more ridiculous. But anyway, okay, CJ, number 5. Who do you think number 5 in the list is?
Aeroplanes. Oh, sorry, I thought I was on Family Feud for a second.
No one.
No, so we've said Australia. I feel like I'm doing one of those TikTok videos where it just goes on forever. We've said Australia, and then number 2 we said was the US. And what was number 1 again? Number 1 was that's right, Australia. And then number 2 was the US. Number 3 was
get on with it.
What was number 3? Oh, Canada. Number 4 was UK.
UK.
What was the question again? Watch till the end. Who's number 5? He is the robot from Short Circuit.
Number 5 is alive. No, which country is it number 5 on our list?
I'm trying to think of other countries. Queensland?
Well, it isn't technically not another country, but it is also definitely another country.
New Zealand? Okay.
No, not New Zealand. New Zealand does not figure in this list at all. It goes down to 21 countries have downloaded our podcast. New Zealand has not downloaded one.
Fuckers.
Yeah, I know. When you consider that South Africa's managed to download one, and Martinique has managed to download one.
Oh, well, that's because I asked it to.
And Guyana has managed to download one. Even France has downloaded one. So no guesses for number 5?
Switzerland. Germany. Poland.
Germany is number 7. Japan is there at number 15, or equal, actually, probably equal 12th. But Finland is number 5. And who do we know from Finland, CJ?
I know a comedian called Ismo.
He's brilliant. I love him.
Yeah, me too. He's great. I was really annoyed. He was in Australia, and I missed it because he was sold out, which is annoying. Mika
Parnanen. Maybe he's not the only one in Finland who's making these massive downloads, but nevertheless, Mika's doing his part.
Well, he does have 37 accounts.
So yeah, and just shout out to Mika and his book Harm Sleeve, which you can get at wherever good Amazon books are sold. And it's a steampunk revisionist history.
It's very cool.
Yeah, there you go. Harm Sleeve. Download it. Okay. So yeah, then it goes all the way down to Pakistan, Colombia, Ireland, Philippines. We even have some downloads from Ukraine. So what country is listening to What's My Age Again?
The last thing they need is this.
As if things weren't bad enough. Okay, so that's a bit of a shout out to all the countries that have been listening to us.
Thank
Thank
you.
you, guys. I was going to have a chat. We were talking about the 000 numbers and how hard it was to dial a rotary phone. And I thought that was a great segue into this particular list, which was a list of how middle-aged are you. And one of the things on there is you've dialed a rotary phone, and you can get a point. You get a point for doing each of these things. So I think we should play this game.
I think it's a terrible idea, but go ahead.
Okay, so one on the thing is, in fact, we need to get a bit of paper. I'll keep score, CJ, because that's me. I'm the teacher. So CJ, and then we rustling the paper that I am going to take.
Did you want me to spell? Did you want me to spell my name for you?
Okay. No, that's fine. Okay. Number one is you can't sleep past 9 a.m., so you can't sleep in. And that's a definite yes for me. I slept in this week till 8.
How is that middle-aged? Like, that's what when you've got kids.
Yeah, I don't know. I think you get trained out of it.
Yeah.
But well, anyway, that's what it says. I didn't make this up. I'm just reading it.
I have 0 points. I can sleep past 9 a.m., especially on a work day.
Okay. You can't start a movie past 9 p.m. because you'll fall asleep, I think, is the implication.
No, I can't start a movie past 9 p.m. I, in fact, I started a movie at midnight the other night, which turned out to be a particularly bad idea because it was...
Battlefield Earth?
No, it was Cannonball, which was like a 1970s thing with David Carradine. It was similar to the Death Race style movie, but it was terrible. Like, it was the really bad... good, bad movie, terrible. Yeah, it was a terrible mistake to start it at 12, but I also couldn't stop.
It was like watching a car wreck.
Well, and the spoiler alert, a quick spoiler alert, the end of the movie is because it's a race movie. The end of the movie is a car wreck,
right?
But it's just essentially a highway with car after car after car after car slamming into the cars that are already there and exploding. And then there would have been 30 cars.
Sounds rather tedious, but might be okay for a while. Then it's just like, okay, after the fifth car, it's like,
you would have thought so. Yeah.
Okay, that's the next question. You call your children for tech support?
No, I called them proper names.
No, we're both relatively tech savvy.
Yeah, my kids called me for tech support.
Yeah, same. You used to fix typos with whiteout.
Yes, I still do. Yeah, it's more annoying now that I'm using a computer all the time.
Your screen looks really terrible.
Yeah.
You've called a 30-year-old a kid.
No, I don't think so. So what about one so far? You called a 30-year-old a dickhead.
Dickhead. Yes. You swap ailment stories with your friends.
Well, yeah, probably both in ALEMENT.
Okay.
And however else you spell it.
You're on Facebook, but not Snapchat.
Well, of course I'm not on Snapchat. What the fuck is the point of that? Because Snapchat, the things disappear. So it's a way to convince yourself that you've got dementia. There's just lots of, fuck, I saw a photo here a second ago.
Well, I don't even know how Snapchat works, so you're one ahead of me.
You snap and then you chat.
Fair enough.
Basically, you send a disappearing photo.
Sounds great. Okay. Number 8. You write appointments on a paper calendar.
No.
You're not quite sure how you got that bruise.
No, that's more of a Fight Club thing.
So is that a yes or a no?
No, it's probably a no.
Okay. You gain weight just by being near food.
That sounds like more of a physiological and what's the other one that starts with PH? Physics. It's more like a physics issue. Fair enough. You're gaining weight being near food. Unless it's food from Chernobyl.
This is atomic weight is quite high. You go into a bank to make a deposit.
As opposed to going into a bank to rob it?
Going into a sperm bank to make a deposit.
Well, same again, I guess.
I haven't been in the bank to make a deposit for many millions of years, but I have done it in
No.
the past, but I don't do it now. I'm going to say no.
Yeah.
Okay, you've dialed a rotary phone. Yes, we've both
Yes.
done that.
456. Damn it.
You don't know what a visco girl is.
No, yeah, you got me on that one. I don't know what a visco girl is.
I know they exist.
I'm not sure that counts. You can't count that then. Just say, I know they exist. I know they exist because there's a question that says you don't know what
but
they
I've
are.
heard about them. I've heard about kids because I have teach kids. They talk about visco girls and all that. Apparently, because I did look it up because I didn't know what they were, and it appears to be. It's something. I think it's a bit old now. I think this list is a bit old. They're not a thing so much now,
Right.
but they're girls who wear oversized t-shirts and Crocs and things like that. One thing I did read about it, and I'm not quite sure whether this will get us cancelled or not, but it seems to be a lesbian thing, but I don't know if that's true or not. Okay.
It doesn't sound like any of the lesbians I've dated.
No. You still have a landline? No. You can't find your glasses that are sitting on top of your head. I have done that once. I wouldn't say that's something I would characterize myself as doing.
Yeah, I've never lost my glasses on the top of my head. Because if I take my glasses off, I can't see anything. So I'm never putting my glasses on top of my head.
Well, you defeated me. I'm far more middle-aged than you are, which I suppose is fair, seeing I'm 60 and you're 50-something.
Well, it depends on which way you're going with it.
Well, because I'm 60, clearly I'm not middle-aged. So I'm actually younger than my years. So if you're looking at it that way, it's actually a positive.
Is the goal to get more points or less points?
I think the goal is to get less points, and that seems you're younger if you get less points.
Uh-huh.
Okay, so you got 4 points. I got 8 points out of that.
Right. Out of how many?
15.
Is 16 doing, I've completed I am middle-aged quizzes on the internet?
But first, a word from our sponsor.
So it's time for another ad from our sponsor.
The one that pays us lots and lots of money, that one.
That's the one, yes. So previously we've been advertising a book called Funny You Should Ask from an author named Elwood Scott. It's time for a big reveal. I am Elwood Scott. Yeah, it's just a pen name. I thought it'd be easier to do, but it's actually made it more complicated. So, yep, it's me.
And by the way, I'm Scott, and Elwood Scott is not Scott.
He's not Scott.
Elwood Scott is CJ.
Yes, I'm glad we've cleared that up.
Not confusing at all.
So, aside from paying us lots of money for the Funny You Should Ask ads, I'll now be paying us lots of money for my latest release, Colin Calls the Help Desk.
I haven't seen any of this money, by the way.
Yeah, I'm hanging on to it just to make sure that it's kept safe. Anyway, Colin Calls the Help Desk is a hilarious and relatable take on the absurdities of office life. Follow Colin the Koala, hold questions, as he dives into his first job and meets Graham, a cynical employee who's just hanging out for redundancy, Bob, his continually disorganised boss, and Brenda, who seems to spend most of her time telling everyone how busy she is. Now, there are a couple of questions that people have raised to me when I've told them about this book.
I have questions.
Not least of which, the main question I get when I say the main character's called Colin the Koala is this a kid's book? The answer is no. Not if you want your kids to ever get a job. Because it's a very much satirical take on all the stupid shit that happens in an office.
So I have questions.
That's good. Questions are good.
One of my questions is, okay, you've said the main character is Colin the Koala. So is the Koala a nickname like Nicky the Llama or Oblong Doug?
Nope. Colin the Koala is 100% koala.
But aren't koalas generally naked, drunk, and spend all their time sleeping or catching chlamydia?
No, you're thinking of Brian from accounting. Colin actually wears a suit. He's sober. He's maybe a little naive, but he's keen. He's enthusiastic. He's incited to lean in, add value, and grab the low-hanging fruit.
Did you go to university to become a writer?
No, I didn't. I don't have any formal qualifications. You see what I did there?
But
Koala. It's Colin the Koala. No formal writing qualifications. That's the kind of high-level, highbrow humour that you'll find in Colin Calls the Help Desk. Actually, seriously, it is better than that. So if you've available on Amazon in all the backs, hardback, like anybody's buying a hardback except for me, paperback, and
Razorback?
yes, it's the disadvantage to the Razorback version is that when it arrives, it charges through your lounge room at about 25 kilometres an hour and gores you to death before you get to read it. So it's not one of the best-selling versions, I'll have to say. But yes, all versions available on the Amazon. I'd love to hear your reviews. But it's always important to remember...
Leave a 5 oink review.
I'm writing this review from my hospital bed. I enjoyed Colin Calls the Help Desk.
I slightly regret the Razorback edition.
Once my groin heals, I'll be looking forward to book 2.
In paperback.
4.5 stars. It lost 0.5 of a star because delivery was late.
But when it came, it really came.
Colin Calls the Help Desk. Available on Amazon. In this next section of You're Not Helping, I apologise that something's gone shit with my microphone that I wasn't aware of at the time. So the sound of me is a little bit crappier. The content is about the same as usual.
But I don't think people will notice, CJ.
That's assuming that anybody's listening by the time it gets to this far.
True.
Now, keeping in our current theme of did Scott turn 60? Working on the principle that he did, I thought it would be interesting and beneficial for you.
Oh, thank you. I'm glad you're thinking
to consult the oracle of the internet, the all-seeing, all-knowing WikiHow, home of the famous How to Fight an Ostrich.
One of our classic episodes.
To identify how to turn 60 gracefully.
I'm looking forward to hearing this information.
Yes, I thought it could be helpful in the event that you do.
I welcome your confidence.
This guide is to help you turn 60 gracefully. The changes you will see and how to cope with them. It contains 5 sections. There are steps. And had I read through this before starting this podcast, I would know how many steps there were. Let's say 7.
7, yeah. That sounds fair.
There's a question and answer section. There's a tips and warnings section.
Is that for giving tips? Like giving someone at 5 for a tip?
That was a different direction than what I was going in. Just tips and warnings. Related articles and references. So feel free to pick and choose from these steps regarding what is pertinent to you and your lifestyle. Now, the other thing that I will point out is within the WikiHow universe,
Oh, yes.
apparently only women turn 60.
Oh.
Because there's nothing about men turning 60. I searched for men turning 60 and there's nothing about men turning 60. So this is very specifically focused on, for women, how to turn 60 gracefully.
Okay. Well, maybe men want to turn 60 disgracefully.
So, of course, the picture is a woman with white hair wearing a pearl necklace. Step number one.
Right.
I don't really know how these are steps, but
Okay.
number 1. This is not too bad. Realize that there are three types of aging.
Okay.
Mental,
Yeah.
physical, and superficially physical.
Okay. I get mental and physical. What's superficially physical?
It's WikiHow. It doesn't go into any more detail. That's it.
Okay. Jesus.
Step 2.
Right.
Have an idea what to expect. Now, to give you an idea what to expect, the graphic on this is
A raisin?
close. It's this is going to be of no help to anybody who's listening because you can't see us. But you know how you get the flappy bit under here, and it's got like chicken
Tuck shop arm.
skin or something. Tuck shop arm, yes, which means nothing to anybody who isn't in Australia. But so like the if you were to do like a Hulk Hogan, look at my biceps thing, but instead of having biceps, you've got the flabby bit at the bottom. That's the image for this. Okay. For step 2, have an idea what to expect.
Okay. So that goes back to our last podcast where we were talking about losing muscle mass.
Yes. So it says the age of 60. So this is something to look forward to. At the age of 60, you lose 10 to 15% of muscle mass. So if you've got anything that needs lifting, you probably want to get that out of the way before next Wednesday.
Well, my personal trainer will be very upset about that.
This is why you should try to do some very light exercise so as not to strain yourself. Like walking.
Breathing.
Which brings us to step 3. Mentally, you need to take care of your mind. Not really sure how there's any other way you could take care of it, but
well, I suppose you got to think good thoughts. Yeah.
Well, no, this is more related to reading newspapers and keeping up to reading newspapers. So that's the first issue with it. So if you're 60, you're not going to be using any of this electronic internet stuff. You'll be going out and say, "Paperboy, where's my newspaper? Stop throwing it on my roof." Mentally, you need to take care of your mind. Reading newspapers, keeping up to date with current affairs is a brilliant way.
Who's the Prime Minister?
To keep your mind sharp. On a cross-aging, mentally taking care of your mind story. When my dad, who was at the time probably about 65, had something going on where he was he'd gone a little bit funny, and we took him to the hospital, and the doctor came in, because they do they check the blah, blah, blah. It's like, where you are and what day it is, and who's the Prime Minister. His response was, that stupid cunt. And I said to the doctor, you can't mark him wrong for that.
Can you send me this link? I need to check this out. I'm sorry.
I think that sounds extraordinarily dangerous to do this.
No, hold on. There we go. Oops.
Step 4, consider revising your skincare routine. You may find that what you've been doing for the last 10 years is not quite as effective now. Try using simple but effective creams.
I've been using no cream at all, so what I've been doing hasn't been working.
It says you need to find something that suits your skin and stick with it.
I've been doing nothing. So it's worked about as well as you can expect.
The image that goes with this looks like something you would find under granny porn. If you Googled granny bukkake, step number 7, try finding a good foundation. At this age, you must have one. Step 8, when applying makeup, try not to put any mascara on your bottom lashes.
Sorry, I can't see how any of this is helping me. Isn't this about helping me?
Well, do you put mascara on your bottom lashes?
I don't put mascara on my bottom anything.
Well, I don't think you're supposed to put mascara on your bottom. The image in this one is that it looks as though she's putting a mascara brush, just poking herself in the eye with it. And also, she doesn't have any bottom lashes. No. They haven't drawn the bottom lashes in.
Fair enough. Well, look, either way, it's.
I'm losing confidence in WikiHow.
I think you have little faith. I'm sure they'll come through for us in the end.
Let's find out. Step 9, try penciling your eyebrows. I like the follow-up sentence. Try to make it look natural, if you wish.
Or unnatural, as the case may be.
I was hoping for an unnatural eyebrow look. So what I thought I'd do is I've drawn like a bit of a loop and a circle, like a little handlebar mustache for each eyebrow. Step 11, dress well with your clothes. Oh, thanks for clearing that up. It is recommended that you wear classic pieces with modern twists.
Mhm.
Also, tailor your style to your skin tone and hair. If you have pale, normal skin,
Because that's what normal skin is pale, because this is not written, it's not at all racist.
oh, by the way, this also works for darker skin ladies if you want that Sophia Loren look.
So, but if you're any darker than the Sophia Loren, forget about it.
Thanks, racist WikiHow author.
Yes.
Yeah. So I think we've possibly alienated a fairly substantial
Yes.
amount of the global population.
Well, considering Sophia Loren, I would admit, yes, obviously she has that sort of slightly swarthy Southern European look, but she's not exactly dark skinned, I wouldn't say.
No, well, she's darker than the image of a woman whose skin's, if it was any lighter, would be transparent.
That's true.
Oh, hang on. That brings us to the next one.
Okay.
13. Stay young in mind and life. And this woman's got an expression that looks as though she's just snapped. It's like, I'm going to go and bake the grandkids. Step 14. Be happy.
Okay.
There's an asterisk on this. Don't get obsessed.
Right, with being happy.
I'm not sure what the asterisk relates to because it doesn't actually have anything where that asterisk goes to. But
maybe it was don't get possessed.
Well, that would explain the woman in step 13.
Yes, definitely. Now I'll just scroll down a little because there are some more tips further down.
Yes. Well, there's community Q&A.
Oh, okay.
Question.
Yeah.
Question. Since turning 60, I've gained weight, especially in my waist area. I'm not doing anything differently than I was before. What's going on? Community answer. So this is the benefit of WikiHow. This is the value of the internet where people can come together and provide useful answers. 9 people found this helpful. Community response. It's probably your age, or your genetics, or maybe your metabolism slowed down.
One person found it not helpful.
I'm surprised that only one person found it. There's only one question. Yeah, only one question answer. But some tips. There are many out there like you wanting the same things. Join up, swap tips, etc. At 60, some of your older friends might not be as able to socialize as you are. So if possible,
forget them.
Make new friends, because the friends you've got, they're probably not going to be around for too long, so just move on. This is you might also like. These are the things that apparently the algorithm for WikiHow thinks, if you're looking at turning 60 gracefully, you'll need to know these things too. How to tell when an egg is boiled. How to iron. How to tan in the sun.
How to forget someone.
I think we've got that handled. That's if you go to that one, it just says turn 60. Actually, how to overcome boredom, which has got 2 images. One is filling out a job application, and the other one's scratching a puppy.
I thought it was strangling a puppy.
Well, that both would work.
Looks pretty wary, that puppy. Give it a lot of side eye. How to get a flat stomach. I need to click on that or that.
Don't click on it because
I just clicked on how to get a flat stomach. Now we're getting a rabbit hole here. I won't keep reading this. I could read this list now.
This is another fighting an ostrich.
And it's the dumbest thing I've ever read already. First sentence. Getting a flat stomach doesn't depend solely on exercise. What's that supposed to mean?
So, in this episode, we learned that, yes, Scott did in fact turn 60. Yay! But isn't necessarily happy about the benefits. And
the benefits? There's no benefits. There was absolutely no benefits.
Well, we did learn that you can apparently lie to the government about how many hours you work. As long as...
Hold on. I didn't lie to the government. That was my friend's mother.
who we potentially slandered by insinuating that she perhaps was making extra money on the side giving people hand jobs.
I think I did my best to dissuade people from thinking that, but anyway. And we learned from the quiz that you're younger than I am.
I'm pretty sure we knew that already, though. And we also learned that, again, WikiHow steps up to the plate and doesn't help. I also learned from a personal perspective after re-listening to this episode that I'm essentially a 12-year-old who's just talks too much about sex and swearing.
Look, no point trying to sort of soften the blow now. Own it. Anyway, say goodbye, CJ.
Goodbye, CJ.
And now a word from our sponsors.
Ever since the dawn of time, humankind has been on a path. We emerged from the cave and began to learn. We learned to write. We learned to build. We learned about our gods. We also did some stupid shit, like sacrificing people, sacrificing our children, and finally, sacrificing our god. Lightbulb moments in human history tracks humanity's big ideas and the eccentricities of those who conceive them. It's available now at all good bookstores, and it's not the history you were taught in school.
So this is me.
And this is me. And if you don't find society's expectations align with how you feel,
Or you just don't feel your age.
or if you've just got a half vaguely interesting story about being over 50, drop us a line at theoldfolkshome69@gmail.com.
Jeez.
Well, you can contact us on any of the socials, which are some combination of Old Folks Home and 69.
I still reckon we should change that.
Yeah, I think it's too late for that now.
Anyway, thanks for listening.
And remember to make sure that you get more of this exciting, valuable, and beneficial content.
So beneficial.
Life-changing. You should always follow, rate, and review all episodes.
And if symptoms persist, see your doctor.
Individual results may vary. Artist's impression may not represent actual events.
Join us on the next episode of What's My Age Again?
We made a few jokes about Lifeline, didn't we, CJ? But it's actually a very useful service. So
It is. It is. Even more so than the Who Wants to Be a Millionaire version of it. Yes, Lifeline is a very useful service, and it's something that if you need to talk to somebody, they're very good to talk to. So good work, them. I don't really want to say if there's anything that's triggering for you in this episode, because that's possibly all of our episodes.
But just to share their number is 131114. So if you do need to call Lifeline, that's the number to call, 131114.